So I'm just down at a job site we're doing here in the South Okanagan. Just pulling into the site here now, and I noticed these mountains here, the frost on the trees up there look kind of cool. Yeah, this is the project we're doing. It's a new winery here down by Oliver, BC. It's about a $50 million winery when it's all finished. Slated to be open early summer this year, 2019. And this is just panning out to look at the valley down here. This is kind of a unique area in Canada. This is almost desert here. It's semi-arid, near desert, whatever you want to call it. But it is very good for wine growing, apparently. So when this is completed, it'll be the largest winery in this part of the valley, the southern part of the valley. And there's my work truck. So you can just catch a glimpse of Vesuvius Lake down that way. The Okanagan River goes through this area and then heads on down across the border. The city of Oroville is about, say 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes from about where I'm standing. It's a beautiful area down here. Always enjoy coming down here. Okay, so I got to go to a meeting, and I continue this later. I've got to drive back and I go by a couple of other interesting spots. Okay, so I'm just on my way back from my meeting. I stopped here. This is called Vassaw Lake. It's part of the Okanagan River. It's basically just a wide spot in the river. Later in the year, that rock bluff and surrounding area, there's a large herd of sheep hang out in there. So this area is actually a bird sanctuary. It's kind of a resting spot for a lot of migratory birds. So down there, those are swans in that picture. I'm just going to head down to the lake here, as I saw some swans as I was driving up. I believe they winter here or rest from wherever they're coming or going. I'm not quite sure. Just going to walk down here a bit. There's a bit of a viewing station down here somewhere. Poison ivy in this area. It's good to know. I never knew that. A little bit of a dreary trail, but it's not too bad of a day. Actually never been down this way myself. Yeah, I believe that would be poison ivy right there, so definitely won't want to touch any of that. This is a nice little pathway they've got down here through all this marshy area. And there was some swans up there when I drove in. It's disappeared. Okay, I'm just going to go a little bit further up and see if I can see some. Okay, so I just walked down to the next viewing point, and there is the swans out there. There's quite a few of them. I've been down here for, since before Christmas was the first time I noticed them in here. So I'd say there's probably about 50 of them or something like that altogether. And this boardwalk keeps going through here. There's another viewing platform farther down there. A bit pressed for time there. I gotta get back to work, so. This lake is actually good for bass fishing too. In the spring there, when it warms up a bit, I'm gonna come down here and do some bass fishing. I used to come down here a few times there in the past, but I haven't fished in here for a while, but I have caught quite a few bass in here in the past. Actually, the biggest bass I've ever caught's been in here. It was about 4 or 5 pounds. You can't use a motorized boat in here at all, not even an electric motor. It has to be a rowboat or something like that. So what I'm going to do this year, my plan is to buy a fishing kayak. So after work I'm going to come down here and fish in the evening. It's only about a 20-minute drive for me from work. So anyways, this is Vassal Lake Bird Sanctuary, and I'm going to head back to work. Talk to you all later. Just another quick video here about these signs that show a bit of history of the area. Information about this area. Bit of information about the flora and fauna. And there's some more information on this side. A little bit about the landscape. Let's zoom out a bit here. It's about how the geology of this area was formed. And this one's about how they're trying to preserve and restore the ecosystem. And I think there's one more over here. Yep. So that one there, that's those sheep I was talking about. That herd's quite a large herd. This is a little bit of information about the actual lake. And unfortunately, the river was changed a number of years ago, so it's basically just a canal now in this area. And a little bit more information about the wetlands here. Okay, so I'm just gonna head out now. When I came up out of the trail, there was a truck parked there, and there was two guys there, and they pulled off for a little marijuana break. We legalized marijuana in Canada here last year, so came out of there. It just reeks. So anyways, a little bit of a side note, but it's getting more common, unfortunately.